Welcome to the Heathen Drive-By, and I got one of my most favorite YouTubers on here today. I got Bionic Dance, Kate. How you doing, Kate?
I have definitely been worse. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Yeah? So what's up?
Well, you know, one of my favorite words of all time right now is epistivist, and I believe you are the one that came up with that, aren't you?
Yes, I did. Well, I mean, if anyone's been watching my channel for any length of time, they know that my biggest problem with religion claiming it's true is the insistence on faith, on not proving anything. And for the longest time, like, I had to say it like I just did. I needed a word for it, a shortcut to say it, so I didn't have to do a paragraph every time. So I looked up the Greek word for faith, put an A in front of it, and then evist for a person, and there you go, epistivist. It worked.
I use it all the time now. It's part of my description of me.
Well, I mean, it's funny. I didn't do it, but somebody out there has actually submitted it to a dictionary to be included. If that ever happened, to be like, whoa, dude, I changed the world for reals.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. I remember when I first came across it, I think it was on Aaron Ra's channel, and I think I thought that he did it at first, and then I found your video. Well, I think I talked to you one time in a comment and asked about it, and wow, you're the one that came up with that.
Well, I mean, Aaron Ra was like, thank you, because he'd been looking for a word like that forever too. And like, if anything made me and him at all like friends, it was that, where he finally took notice and went, oh my gosh. And the thing is that his son had actually come up with this design called a Zopdaz, which, well, this is actually it upside down. But it doesn't matter because it's the two triangles. They're both the same. Like if you flip them, it's still two triangles. And that's the same thing with the word, actually. If you write the word Zopdaz in like lowercase letters and then like flip it over or mirror it or something, it comes out to the same word. And they've been using that symbol to represent apistivism for a while. So, yeah.
Huh. I lost the chat line. I can't see anything there. Is anybody talking to me?
All I see right now is a comment from Compelled Unbeliever. That's the last one I see.
Okay.
It says, howdy, I'm just mighty evolved to be here, it says.
Mighty evolved.
Yeah, so that's the comment. We're getting some echo again.
From?
I assume your end. I don't know.
I don't. Not now, right?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, there it goes. It's only when I talk. Yeah.
Let me, I'm using my speakers here, so I'll just turn the volume down a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Is that better?
All right. Yeah, it's very faint anyway.
You like hearing yourself anyway, don't you?
You know, it's funny because my voice in video and my voice in my head do not sound the same at all, and it's weird.
Well, I just was watching something on that or whatever, where the reason that we hate our own voice, hearing our own voice so much, is because we're trying to rationalize somebody else talking to us, and it doesn't make sense when our own voice is talking to us or something like that. It's
well, I mean, for me at least, it's just the sound, literally. Like if I record my voice, it doesn't sound like what it sounds like when I'm talking. What I hear, like physically hear when I'm speaking, sounds different to these ears than something that's been recorded, and it's very strange.
And that's why the reason why is because the sound is actually vibrating in your skull, and you're also getting your skull vibration in your ears as you speak. That's why. And there's actually a delay. My brain actually makes it. Yes, you have to watch the video. I can't explain it. I'm not.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's just that's my explanation for why I don't really like to hear my own voice.
Yeah, because it does sound different. Yeah, I've done a lot of audio recording I've done a lot of vocals and singing or whatever, and I hate.
Well, I'm noticing all kinds of instruments up there. I see drums and a guitar, and
I dabble a little bit.
Picture's a little blurry, so it's hard to see what else I see, but still.
Yeah, pool table. There, now what is going on here? My computer's going really slow here. I'm trying to get that chat up, but it won't come up for me.
Oh, well, it's funny. I actually had to reboot my computer earlier today because my internet was just dying on me, and resetting the modem didn't help. So,
When I was out in LA, I noticed that right around fourth, about this time of the day, the internet just bogged down big time because of the traffic going on in there. Maybe that's part of it.
you think everyone's like nose to bumper on the street, and so they're like, "I'm gonna look on my cell phone." Like,
Yeah, I think so. There, now I got it up finally. Ah, Lavender Lady, Diana.
yeah, there's a couple of familiar names in there. I definitely know Wolf Argent there, the psychopath who loves purple so much. And yeah, Diana's there, and I've definitely spoken with YouTuber Grudge before too, and Compelled Unbeliever certainly.
There. Goodbye, Ivan.
Oh, it's that fellow. Okay.
YouTuber Grudge. I don't know. Never heard. Oh wait, I just saw that earlier. I guess. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even remember when I first came. I think I came across you the first time on Wildwood Claire's comment section, or when I first seen your avatar or whatever. That was
whatever happened to her?
I don't know. I wish I did know. I miss her so much. I loved her. Her and Desert File were the first two people that I ever subscribed to, and well, from there on, you get into this community, I guess, half of those two.
Well, I don't know who the first person I subscribed to was. I have no idea at all.
Can't remember. Yeah, it's.
Well, I mean, I've been making YouTube videos for like 10 years. Yeah. So, and I mean, I remember when YouTube was not owned by Google and things were so different. I mean, like videos had a 10-minute limit. We could rate things on a 5-star system instead of thumbs up, thumbs down. And you could post video responses directly to someone's video. So if you had a debate with somebody, you could say, here's my video response. And people could just click on it, going, aha, I'm continuing the debate. And man, I miss that. That was so fun.
I think even like 2 years ago, maybe you couldn't do the reply onto one person's. You couldn't thread off of the same person or whatever. Could you? It had to be on the video, just all comments in the same video. Or if you couldn't reply to a person, you'd have to reply to the whole comment section.
Oh, right? Gosh, I don't remember that part, but maybe you're right.
At least when I looked at old, because I never made the comment section until about 2 years ago. I didn't even know it was there until 2 years ago. But yeah, I'm old, so. I don't.
Okay, so Compelled Unbeliever is asking if there was any particular life event that set me off to become active. No, not really, actually. I had a friend of mine tell me that there were YouTube atheists and sent me a couple of links. I was like, I could do that. And just sort of started almost as a hobby. I mean, I obviously wasn't getting paid yet. I didn't have enough subscribers yet. And so every couple of days, I'd just make a video. It was just my voice and some text going off into the screen with like a star background kind of thing. And I mean, it was fun. And I was speaking out about something I kind of cared about. I didn't have one of those life experiences the way other people did, where it was like they were raised uber Roman Catholic or something, and they had to go through this whole like I'm learning there is no God, how do I deal with my family kind of thing. That never happened. I was raised by hippies who never forced religion on me. So that's why when I started making these videos, I mean, my main reason for it really, I guess I want to say, because I was seeing other people misbehaving, that I was seeing other people making other people's lives worse. And I was like, that's not okay. I mean, I tell people a lot that I make my videos in self-defense, that if religious people were not hurting others, I wouldn't care. Let them believe what they want to believe, and my channel will go back to pure animation, because that's what I started it for. I got a lucky break because someone gave me a shout out, and it got me 500 subscribers in a day. So that really got me started doing this more actively than just sort of as a hobby.
Well, I mean, I'm in the same. I wasn't raised by hippies, but my dad was hated the Catholic Church, and my mom was a Unitarian Universalist, but she's an atheist. My grandma was an atheist. My great grandmother was an atheist. So I pretty much had no religion in my. Jesus was like a synonym for ouch. But I always I've always wanted to wonder. I always wondered why there aren't very many of us that do get active. But I think it is, you kind of hit on it right there a little bit. I think that it's sort of like you don't, we fit in. You can't look at someone and go, they're an atheist. You can't do that. So.
Yeah, although I've heard some stories from friends of mine who, like, they're atheists and they move from, say, the East Coast, call it New York City or something, to the South, right? And the first Sunday there goes by, and on Monday the neighbors come by and they're like with a casserole, "Oh, I'm so sorry you were sick. We didn't see you in church this week," right? And so then another Sunday goes by, and on that Monday they bring, like, I don't know, a thing of chocolates or something. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's been 2 weeks. That sucks, but we didn't see you at church." And then one more Sunday goes by, and on Monday, "We didn't see you in church on Sunday," right? So I mean, I've heard stories like that. So yeah.
That's when I started going, well, that's because I had to go to my toga themed orgy and couldn't quite make it to church.
Yeah.
That's a fantasy of mine, but hey, what can you do? Is it true that Kate?
It's another one of those.
Somebody's socking their account now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
See, I mean, the funny thing is this person is accusing me of starting drama, which I suppose I might have. I didn't want to, but I felt that things had gotten to a point where I had to say something. And now they're like, Kate's a liar, Kate's a liar, Kate's a liar. And they're stirring up as much drama as they possibly can while acting like somehow me doing even a tiny bit of drama that should have been over a long time ago am somehow this horrible person. I mean, can you be more hypocritical?
All I know is I want to create a lot of moderators here that are friends of mine now. So kick out anybody that gives anybody shit here, because I'm not going to put up with it. Motherfuckers.
So one thing that YouTuber Grudge has been asking that I'm still going to have to say no to is, will people ever see me on camera with my natural hair? Because as most people know, my hair is actually curly. I take a straight iron or a flat iron to it. And I mean, racially speaking, I've got a lot of like Jewish and African and some of the weirder Italian stuff going on. Like, gosh, I'm trying to remember. It's not, I think it's Sicily that I've got going on. But regardless, there's a lot of curly and wavy going on, and I hate it. If my hair does what it wants to do, I look like an explosion in a Velcro factory, right? So, no, you're probably not going to see me with my natural hair, but the closest you're going to get, I did put up a video like a month ago, I guess it was, maybe a little less, where you see me at least with hair that has not been tended to for quite some time. I'm not going to say which video it is. You're going to have to go dig it up your own damn self. Well, but no, I'm not going to appear on camera like immediately after a shower or anything. Not going to happen. Get over it.
You got a lot of videos.
And no, Purple Boy, it's not blonde. I am not blonde. And this is my natural color. Okay. I know there have been times when I used to appear on camera with hair that you could see from orbit. The problem is the bleach would wreck it. Right. And so like I didn't have to cut my hair. It would just start like shattering and stuff. So I figured I'll stop actually coloring my hair and see how long it can get on its own. So
I don't have to worry about hair.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that Grudge would not let it go until I gave an answer. So
I'm sure. Well, start talking about makeup tips and go ahead.
Oh no. There's one thing that's great about being a mildly tomboyish lesbian. You don't gotta deal with the face paints over here. So yeah.
I'd make a bad person with makeup because I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Streisand effects as the lavender lady. I suppose you meant for the curly frizziness or whatever.
Probably.
It usually happens with humidity, doesn't it? Where you, I never had that problem.
I mean, Southern California is pretty dry heat wise.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I was raised in New England, and Vermont would get the moist heat, would get the really humid heat, but here not so much. Problem is, if you sweat into your hair, well, it might as well have been humid.
Oh, it's plenty humid in Minnesota. It's not as humid as like St. Louis or Houston, but ooh.
You know, I don't think I've ever been to Minnesota. Missouri, yes, but not Minnesota. I might have been over Minnesota.
Yeah. Southern Minnesota is kind of like all cornfields. Northern Minnesota is pretty beautiful. It's
UFOs abducting people.
Yeah, well, in the Boundary Waters. So
well, I mean, that's what cornfields are for, aren't they? Is either that or being attacked by like zombie crows that were summoned by a warlock or something. I don't know. That's what cornfields are for.
It's funny because one of my friends, he's kind of the person that actually got me into looking on YouTube for looking at skeptical things or actually debunking videos, and that's kind of what started me down the road of finding the skeptic community, because he was trying to make a perpetual motion machine. So that got me to Desert Files site somehow, and then and then well, it all kind of escalated from there, and he still makes these claims. Lately he's been talking like there's grays in his shed or something like that, you know, the aliens.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and that's a big thing lately, I think, on YouTube that I've seen kind of.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I have to admit, I mean, I'm a bit of a sci-fi nerd, and I think the grays are really cool. I think they're awesome. But I don't think they're real. I mean, there was actually a video I made recently where someone was talking about, like, I mean, I don't even remember exactly what they were saying. They were like, here's something I believe because God's so amazing or something. And I held up these two books that I had that are about like Roswell and stuff. And I was going, okay, I think these are really amazing. I don't think they're real. Yeah, that sort of thing. So, yeah. But no, I think that as science fiction aliens go, the grays are a lot of fun.
Well, actually, where was it on Stargate when the characters of the grays that they had on there is pretty cool too, I thought.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I should remember what they're called. They have like a name, a specific name. But I mean, I haven't watched Stargate in forever, and also I have those memory issues because of the yeah. So.
I used to watch it religiously.
Yeah,
I loved Stargate.
Asgardians. That's it, Asgard. Like Asgard. Thor and yes, that's what they were called. Man, that took me a second, but right, because I kept thinking that they were like Egyptian in some weird way. That they were like I don't know, but no, they're
Asgard.
Yeah.
With Norse through the North. Yeah, I like the way they took the mythologies and kind of mixed them together with that and put it into the wormhole kind of thing. It's like,
well, I mean, it is an interesting way to explain the gods. Is like humanity was being fucked with by aliens that were far superior. It's actually kind of cool in a way.
It did.
It makes me wonder if humanity ever gets like interstellar travel to the point where it's the same as like taking an airplane flight somewhere is now. Do you think that there's going to be like frat boys going around teasing alien civilizations, like setting themselves up as a god? Like, okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, I am allowed to talk about this. Sorry, I'm in the beta for a video game that's coming out soon.
Oh, cool.
And it's a lot of fun. It's for Star Control Origins. And one of the things that's happened is there's this race. I don't know if they're called the Mowlings or the Molings because we haven't heard it pronounced yet. But they have this weird religion. They worship a guy named Jeff. And it turns out that Jeff is like this spaceship that like I think it's a sentient spaceship or something that found them and started taking care of them, and they started worshiping it. And so it looks like an interesting sort of entertaining way for the game to play out. I don't know. Now, I don't know a lot. They just, in one of the message boards, they posted a bunch of lines that Jeff would say when the player encounters him. So anyway.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Wonder Lady. How are you?
Hi, Faye. Yay for Faye.
So
Egyptians were all the Goa'uld. That's the
yeah,
parasite dudes. Yeah, I remember that. I just
man,
thought,
it's been a while. I always thought Samantha Carter was hot.
yeah, she was.
Yeah.
And Dean Anderson, he was just that slick, kind of cocky, witty, quick-witted person or whatever that would always have a comeback for everything. It was
MacGyver.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's also
yeah.
Lonnie Anderson's brother. They're both from Minnesota, actually.
Actually, what amuses me, what's the scientist dude's name? The one that they had to bring back from like Advanced Egypt or whatever. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that the guy who played him in the movie, the one with Kurt Russell, was like one of the Brat Pack from the John Hughes movies, and it was the only time he ever played a good guy. Like he said in interviews, he loves playing the asshole. Like that's his favorite type of character to play in a movie. But in Stargate, for some reason, he decided to go with the good guy. So, yeah.
What do you think of Dune, Kate?
Dune. Gosh, I want to like Dune. I really, really want to like Dune, and I don't. It seems like the sort of thing I'd love. I mean, it's this sort of like big, huge, epic, spanning space opera sci-fi story with all these like families that have squabbles between each other. I mean, it in a way, it's like, say, Honor Harrington or the Verkosigan saga. But the movie that they made in, what was it, 84, 86, is all but incomprehensible. And it's just, I can't follow what the hell's going on. The mini series that came out is a little easier to understand, and it's actually watchable compared to the movie. I tried the book, and the book has the same problem that Game of Thrones has. Because Game of Thrones, what they do is they leave nothing to your imagination. Everything is over-described, where it's like there's going to be some royal banquet, and here's 3 pages on what the tapestries and silverware is going to look like, and I'm like, fuck, get on with it. Dialogue, plot, anything. I don't care. It doesn't even have to be action. It could be the waiters arguing about something. Just let me use my own creative imagination to figure out what a goddamn banquet table is going to look like, for crying out loud. Right? So that's why I don't like Dune. I don't know. It doesn't click. It's kind of like, actually, I've tried really hard to like James Bond, and I can't do it. I've tried, and I just, it doesn't connect with me. I don't know.
Yeah, what were you, pedantic? Being too pedantic? Is that, no, that's not right for that, is it?
No. I don't know. I don't know why I don't like James Bond. There's something, and I just don't connect.
A movie that I loved, but I hated the book because it had so much Russian slang, and it was Clockwork Orange. It was just, you can't even read that book. It's like, wow, you have to go to the back of it and look everything up all the time.
I did not finish that movie. I tried to watch it, and at a certain point, I was like, this is too stupid. Because, like, he's chasing some girl around her living room with this piece of furniture that looks like a dick, and he's trying to hit her with it. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, I think the storyline is, the plot of it kind of gets in the later part of it. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. I can see why you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but I don't know. And I mean, like, the idea is he's supposed to be what, like a punk or something, and he's wearing suspenders and a white. That's not a punk. Anyway, that's just me.
Yes, you know those British street gangs.
Right.
Actually, I don't. Maybe Anti-Ordinary would know. But I was just gonna ask you a question. I can't remember what the hell it was.
It was probably about cheese.
Cheese?
I don't know. If someone can't remember what to say, I figure they were going to talk about cheese.
Well, Cheese Whiz. And then there's now I'm trying to think of different kinds of cheese.
Right. Well, you should read fiction there, Diana. Fiction is good, especially sci-fi is good fiction. I like it a lot. Yeah. In fact, one thing that I'm going to have to do immediately when this is over is watch Ready Player One. It just arrived today. And when people send me stuff, it's great to know who the hell did it so I can give them a thank you. I don't know who sent me this, but if you're watching now, thanks. So, yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome.
So anyway, yeah. So I like sci-fi. I like to read sci-fi. I actually, oh boy, do I even want to talk about this? Because it's going to play right in the hands of what's his face who says I don't like to start drama. But because I've had people get on my case for not reading the educational stuff, right? Where they're going, you can't talk about philosophy unless you read da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, but my queue is full of sci-fi and fantasy books, and I'm never going to read them all. I'm sure of it. Now you want me to go through textbooks? When I mean, philosophy is something that you can figure out pretty much on your own, at least a lot of it. Sure, you may not have the exact terminology, but it's easy enough to look at something logically and go, okay, here's how people feel about something. Here's how other people feel about it. Here's where the conflict is. I mean, it's not that difficult, but some people were getting on my case because I didn't know the right Latin and Greek terms for shit. And I'm like,
well, you know what? It kind of pisses me off too a little bit. Because actually, if you really think about it, everybody has a philosophy.
Of course they do. Yeah. I mean, that's been one of the points I've been making in my videos is that morality, there is not one morality. There's no objective morality. Everyone has their own subjective morality in their head. And it's just good that there's a lot of overlap is all.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard the arguments, and it's like, it's a waste of time if you ask me. It's not even worth going into it. You know, like a while back, I was kind of got into it with Friended Forever with the anti-theist thing or whatever. And it's like, you know what? It's a description. It's not, I don't know what his case was about it, but it was like, dude, you know, it's,
first of all, I mean, that is the thing is, I mean, apistivist is a label. It's a description. It's here's something that meets these qualifications and we're going to call it this as a result. Now, here's something else with these qualifications. We're going to call it that. And maybe there's some overlap between the two, so we'll call them both. But it's not like some sort of, like you're joining a cult because we can describe you this way. It's just, I mean, it's like, here's an apple and here's an orange. We distinguish them between each other because they have certain traits, and that's it. That's it. Well, it's not like, I don't know.
Language is just really fluid. I mean, I think Shakespeare said that, right? But, yeah, and what happens that I've seen or whatever that I've witnessed is that through the years, if you look back at the way the word was used, it becomes a pejorative usually, and then comes back out of wherever the opposite of a pejorative is, and that's usually all words kind of fluctuate that because one group uses that label, and another group goes against that group, and then that word becomes a pejorative because of that. So yeah, and then the other people take the word back and claim it, and then it becomes a victory word. So,
Yep.
And I think that's always going to be that way.
Although sometimes they decide that's not our label anymore. Like I was actually, I was on, Lavender Lady's channel the other day, and we were talking about how I don't know, like, okay, it feels weird to me to call them little people because it feels like I'm insulting like midgets or dwarves or whatever you want to call those folks. But apparently calling them midgets or dwarves is offensive. So you got to call them little people. But to me, if I say, oh, you're a little person, it just sounds to me like I'm insulting them no matter how sincere and like non-obnoxious I'm trying to be in their direction. It just feels like I'm insulting them, even though it's the right thing to say. And it was just like, what do you do? What do you call someone?
You're talking to somebody that was an introverted, really, really shy person his whole life. So I know exactly where you're coming from with that. I always feel like I always feel really. The reason that I don't say that much is because I really think hard about what I'm going to say before I say it, because I hate saying something to offend somebody.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the things where people get to call each other something that was an insult, but no one else is allowed to call them that anymore. Like lesbians, we can totally call ourselves dykes, but you're not allowed to, right? And let's not even get started with black folks and the N-word. They can totally call each other that as much as they like, but if anyone else says it, forget about it. And I mean, I can understand that. I seem to remember there was like something called taking it back or whatever. Like we're taking this word back for us. And I totally get it. So, I mean, I'm not, it's, how do I put this? It's kind of I don't think irrational is the right word for it. What am I looking for here? It's um like it's us specific. I get. I don't know. I've lost what I'm trying to say, but it's like it's unfair. It's unbalanced. It's we get to do it and you don't. But
Yeah.
I can see why, because socially that makes the most sense.
Well, when it becomes a pejorative, then yeah, like taking it back, and then all of a sudden, there's a word for the opposite of pejorative, but I can't think of it right now.
You know, I should know it. It's something like affirmative, I think, or superlative. But I think superlative is when something's awesome and amazing. You call it, I think it's just like affirmative. I don't know. I'd have to look.
Oh God, I've been preaching about this in a vertical video. Somebody's bringing up vertical video. Go figure.
Oh, yeah, that. Okay, let's see here.
Car theists and vertical video. What else is there in this world?
Let's see. Antonyms for pejorative, I guess complimentary and positive and praising. That's it. So it's not what I thought. Well, I can handle being wrong, much to some people's surprise. But yeah, vertical video is definitely a thing that I'm against. When you're filming with your phone, think of it as widescreen. Think of it as landscape. This is how you film. Okay, I realize this is how it feels to hold a phone. This is natural. Like, this is natural because that's how you dial and that's how you talk. But seriously, when you're recording, how many times have you seen a video of like a policeman attacking someone and they're trying to record it to say, like, here's the police being brutal and they're doing this shit while they're running, and you can't see what's going on because the picture's like, oh, there's the cop, there's the cop, there's the cop, there's the... And it's like, dude, seriously, do it like this and we can tell what's going on. Seriously. It's not that difficult to figure it out. But if you film in vertical video, that's a paddling.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, because it's just it's just hard to watch that.
It really is. My gosh. I mean, there's a lot of things that people do wrong when they're filming. For example, how many times have you seen someone where they're filming like this, where it's just their face right in the middle and there's all this negative space up here, right? Is they fill the frame. Seriously, the only reason your head should be down here is if there's like a screen behind you and people need to see what's on the screen. Seriously.
Well, when I'm hanging my halo on my horn, that's when I have to do that.
So I don't know. There's little things like that. Like, I've had some people actually, it feels weird when they do this, but they've come to me for YouTube hints. And sometimes they need actual video help, and sometimes they need, how do I promote myself help, or whatever. But it's amazing how many of them have to be told good filmmaking technique, like filling the frame, that sort of thing. Or edit on the move is another one, where it's like, if you have this and then you edit and someone's like this or whatever, it's usually kind of dull. So what you should do is, if you say something, you finish saying it, lean in a little bit, because then when you edit, there's, I don't know, it's just stuff like that they taught me in like the year and a half I went to film school. So yeah.
My brother, he's been a grip in Hollywood for probably 25, 30 years right now. So I kind of understand that. But I remember one time watching Jackie Chan showing on how they do the fight scenes in China. They always do a far away, and then right when it hits, they rewind it a little bit, and then they do a close up of the fist hitting them, and that's where it gives it that big, powerful look or whatever, where it's knocking them backwards. So yeah, I understand that. I like using the dissolve when I do my little edits, because then I'm going, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Plus I do a lot of time lapse stuff, and I can get away with a little bit more with that.
I've never really done anything time lapse. I don't know.
It takes time. Trust me.
Well, I don't know. There have been times when I've thought about trying to do some stop motion, but it hasn't worked. There were a couple of things I tried to do, like, you know how I was talking about how when I would color my hair, it would start to break off and stuff. Well, I wanted to try doing that thing where, like, you show hair growing over time. So I would try to position myself in front of the camera and like take a picture every day. The problem is I kept not doing it on the same, like at the same time of day. So the shadows would go all over the place.
I was going to
right?
comment on like just moving a
And
little thimble across the table or something, but I don't have the patience for that. By
well,
the
I
third
actually
frame, I'm
did.
like,
The thing is, I actually did something very similar to what I just described. Though, is does anyone remember? Oh God, what's her name now? ZJ. Uh, the really like loud and out trans advocate, right? Well,
uh-huh.
when she first started doing videos, she was presenting as a guy and had not come out yet. But she was always in exactly the same place on every frame, like every video. And so what I did was I took a frame from like one video and then the next video and the next video and the next video. And the lighting was almost always the same too. And so for like a year and a half, we just watch her transition like in time lapse, and it's one of the craziest pictures you've ever seen. So, yeah,
Yeah, well, I suppose you'd have to get like maybe a helmet or something, or just something to where you put your head into or something like that to make sure you're in the exact same spot every time.
yeah, it's not well. I mean, I was able to be in the same spot, but the lighting kept changing
The
because
lighting, that's huge.
I wasn't doing it at the same time of day, and so it just didn't look right.
You're in the right place right now for good lighting though.
Well, that's true. Although, actually, if you look behind me, the window, I mean, the shades are taken down, but it's still blasting light right through. So,
Oh, I lived out in the
yeah.
desert for a while. I know how hot it gets out there.
Let's see if I can find that picture. It's here somewhere. Oh, well, people can go find it if they want to. I'm sure they can. I could have sworn. Oh,
You
wait.
got a wrench even?
Do I?
I don't think you do. Can't find your comments here.
Okay. I know I've got this picture somewhere. I have to.
Why isn't anybody's wrench showing up, or are they showing up?
Well, they'd have to type for the wrench to even show that they have it, right?
Compelled's got one. Wonder Lady doesn't have one.
Let's see.
Now she does.
Aha! Found it.
You should be a moderator now, so.
All right. I don't know if the right? So that's the picture I built out of all those videos. So yeah. It was just something I thought would be fun to try. I mean, speaking as someone who does a lot of animation and has tried a lot of different animation styles, that's the sort of thing that I could see myself doing with other stuff. I don't know what else. But just having that sort of time lapse on something.
I want to do it with doing like you do with the stars going across or whatever at night. I want to set my iPad up for that overnight.
You mean the like in my older videos where the stars are sort of that's all done with like Photoshop images. Like there's an app that generates those a filter rather that generates the stars and the planets, and then I can just put those into my editor and composite them. It's not really anything super special.
Is she a YouTuber? Who?
Yeah, it's Zinnia Jones. That's right.
Zimia Jones?
Yeah. She got a lot bigger than I ever did. I hate that when that happens, when there's like someone who starts their YouTube career like way after I did, and the next thing you know, they've got like 10 times my subscribers. It's like, so. But what you gonna do?
Yeah.
But no, she started out as an atheist, like an atheist YouTuber. That was her focus, and then when she came out, was like this big time trans advocate. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of hardware do you guys use? Computer equipment, microphone, camera, that stuff?
Well, I mean, I just have like a Logitech webcam. It's sitting in a microphone stand because I don't have a proper stand for it. My microphone is this. right? It's actually a lot easier to use. I was using, I have it here. I had like a mini soundboard, like the sort you would get in a recording studio. And I had a microphone that would sit in that stand. But the thing is that it would not, like the sound was always kind of echoey. It wasn't very good. And if I didn't have it set just right, I would sound weird. I would pick up a lot of background noise. This is actually better than a professional microphone, if you can believe that. So, dude, your sound's gone again. Nope. Let's see. Well, what did he, oh, why do you have a wrench? Okay. Well, I think he gave one. Clade, how long ago was that? That was like 5 years ago, maybe. I don't know. It was a really long time ago. I can probably figure it out if I look. What do we have here? Pictures again. Let me bring it back up. There's usually a created by date on it. So let's see. Created 2014. It was created in 2014. So that would be like, because I mean, I made it then, I saved it then, but it would have been like like at least a year or two. So I probably started it in like 2012 or something. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see if there's any other questions I can answer while we're waiting for Johnny to get his microphone going. A thick curtain and a dark bed sheet behind it will block the light from the window. Yeah, that's true. It will. But, like, that's a lot of work to hang that over my shades, over my window. I'd have to have some sort of rail or something to put them over. I don't have it, so I can't do that. Well, I mean, obviously, I can't necessarily do that again because, well, it's over. I'd have to find something else or someone else to do that for, I suppose. Like I said, I tried to do it with my own hair, and it like because at one point some of it had gotten like sliced off accidentally. I wanted to see how long it would take to grow back out, and it didn't work. I might actually have that picture still somewhere here, and you can see how it was fucking up. I don't know. I'll have to look. I don't see it though. Oh well, I guess that'll be fine. That's okay. Someone was asking about the art on my walls. Where are we here? Someone asked about it. Well, oh, there it is. Faye asked it. Well, you're gonna have to be more specific because there's a lot of it up there. Most of it is scrolls from cartoon shows. Like you've got Bionic 6, and that was my favorite 80s cartoon. There's also Iria back there, which is my favorite anime. You can see a disc from Tron up there, and above it, which is not right now visible, is also Xena's Chakram. Right over this way, I have a whole bunch of license plates from like Hollywood movies. Over here, I have 2 of the cloth maps that came with the Ultima video games back in the PC days. See, the thing is, like these days, a lot of video games, we just download them and there's no packaging or anything. But there was a time when video games would come with stuff like souvenirs and things. And I mean, I've kept a fair bit of it, but nothing for me is as treasured as those cloth maps. Right? I don't know how well you can see them here, but yeah, I mean those I mean they could easily be like a dish rag or something what they're printed on, but they're still it's just really cool to have these maps that you'd probably have if you were the actual characters in the actual game. Let's see, I've got a whole bunch of stuff on top of my shelves. There's like a couple of different helmets and things. There's like a lamp that has sort of like a baby gray alien in it, where you can turn it on, the light comes up from the bottom, and it looks like it's just in this experimental vat thing. It was pretty cool. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, well, there's a plushy companion cube up there too. So yeah, Attack on Titan. I don't know what Attack on Titan is. I don't know. So I guess I'm gonna have to say no. I don't watch it. Attack on Titan is.
There we go.
Oh, there. Is Attack on Titan something that's streaming on Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon? Because if it isn't, I really can't watch it.
Am I
It's
still
anime.
here?
I know nothing about it.
Am I still here?
You are. I can hear you.
I don't know what happened there. My tube amp went out on my microphone.
Weird.
Yeah, not weird. An anomaly? Yeah. What is definition of an anomaly anyway? That's just something that isn't normal, right?
Well, it's something, right, that's not anomaly. It's not anomalous. It's an anomaly. And I'm just being a brat here. Never mind. I'm just yeah.
A friend of mine always uses it, and it's like I think he uses it wrong too much.
Anyway. Yeah, that's an app on my phone, or a widget on my phone I have to use a lot. So
I can see why, though. What did I miss? I was like,
there's been a lot of questions just about like pop culture and stuff, mostly.
Pop culture.
Yeah. Well, people were asking me about the art on my walls, that kind of thing. So I was describing some of that. You know, that sort of thing.
I'm just thinking about like if you're like in 1984 and you were a band and thinking of a name, and you'd always go, "Hey, how about Oingo Boingo?"
Actually, there was a time I thought that Petroleum Toast would be an interesting name for a band, because it's what you put petroleum jelly on, obviously. But everyone I've said that to, they've been like, "That's just stupid. Never say that again." So I don't know.
Weird science.
Yeah, it's funny. What's his face? Danny Elfman is from Oingo Boingo, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, I know a lot of people are probably going to hate on me for this, but I cannot stand, I mean, I absolutely hate Tim Burton. With the white hot fury of 1,000 suns, I hate Tim Burton. And for the longest time, I thought I hated Danny Elfman because he was always doing the music for Tim Burton movies, and everything he did sounded like a circus that had gone horribly wrong. I was like, womp, 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 right? And I was just like, this is just stupid, like psychotic circus music. Who cares? But then I saw him do a score for another movie that had nothing to do with Tim fucking Burton, and it was actually a really good score. And I was like, wow, this guy has range. Who knew? So yeah.
Well, Grace, look.
Oh, hey, it is Deconverted Man, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, okay. Someone says here, Mage Grey Wolf. Oh, I know Mage Grey Wolf. I've known you for years. Attack on Titan is on Netflix, but it's only subbed.
No doubt.
Actually, the truth is, I mean, when I was in college, I only took like 2/4 of it, unfortunately, because I had to leave, but I started learning Japanese, and I don't know nearly enough to like watch anime and not need the subtitles, but that was kind of the inspiration for trying to take the language. But even if I had just taken a few courses without thinking of anime, I would have absolutely loved it. It's a great, fun language to speak. I think it's wonderful. So, yeah.
What? So desu ka?
He's asking, is it so? Is that true? So desu ka? Yeah, so desu ne. Anyway, but yeah.
Yo. Kawaii.
That means cute.
She talking about me or you?
I don't know.
Can't be me. Oh, now I got my.
Oh, fun stories from the atheist booth. Not really. I mean, there've been a few on YouTube that I've put up. Because for those of you who don't know, I help staff an atheist booth in Balboa Park in San Diego every Saturday morning, right? And it's in a fairly prominent part of the park called the Prado. So if any of you are in San Diego, you want to meet my dumb butt, come along sometime after 10 a.m. And preferably before 2 or 4, because otherwise I might leave. It has been kind of boring lately because the people coming up to us are other atheists going, thank you for doing this. There have been times when we've had some very interesting theists come up, but that's been few and far between lately. It used to be a lot more common that we'd have these discussions that might almost be debates with theists. It doesn't happen nearly as much as I'd like.
Well, that'd be my luck. I drive 3.5 hours down there to hang out with you, and we wouldn't even get one theist. I think I saw you on Old Fart Grows channel one time with talking to some theist on there or something like that on his channel.
Old
Fart Grows, marijuana guy or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's my friend Tommy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love his channel too. But I like pot, so.
Well, I wish I did, because number one, my doctors have told me that it will help with the seizures, like it's supposed to alleviate the seizures, but it makes me feel really weird.
Yeah, and
like I don't even really get high off of it. I just sort of feel woozy all the time. I'm like, this isn't a good trade-off. So I stopped trying it.
Not everybody can deal or do that or whatever, and
yeah,
some people go through the paranoid stage with it, but
see, I've never done that. I've just gone through the I don't like this stage. So
everybody's chemistry is different, I guess. I mean,
yeah. So maybe I won't be needing it soon. In September they're actually going to drill into my head meats and try to cure the epilepsy. So we'll see what happens.
I sure hope that works. I mean, that's just a good thing to happen.
Yeah, although I mean, let's face it, it's kind of scary having people stick needles into your brain and then start shooting lasers through it. That's not exactly the best weekend plans a person might have. I have every intention the day before making a video, letting people know what's happening and telling them, hey, if you never hear from me again, something went wrong. But also, I have something I really kind of want to do that might be obnoxious as fuck, and I don't know if I'll remember to do it. But when I'm coming out from under the anesthesia, I want to do sort of a, where am I? And then, like, my dad's going to be there because he's always supporting me. I mean, like, who are you? Who am I? Just to fuck with people, right? But the thing is, I mean, coming out of the anesthesia, I'm going to have enough of a clear head to do that, right? So
I did have amnesia because I did a backflip. Well, I used to be pretty good at gymnastics or whatever when I was younger, but I did a backflip or tried to and landed straight on my head. I don't remember anything after. I remember running, and I don't remember anything after that except for waking up in the car. We're at the Minnesota-Iowa border, and I just woke up and I remember going, I can't remember my name. And I just it was weird. It was a weird, but then it kind of came back after a little bit. So yeah, so I've been there where you don't realize who you are.
Yeah, but I just think if someone's doing an operation on your brain and when you come out of it, you start acting like you don't remember anything.
That would be so mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that would. But we'll see. And who knows? Maybe I'm not enough of a jerk where like I'll wake up feeling fine and not do it just because because my dad does really care about me. Everyone who's seen that video I put up where we're doing the EEG testing and my dad was there to support me and all of that. Everyone knows my dad's an amazing guy, and he is, right? Yeah, all due credit to my dad. Wonderful guy. So, and he'll be there.
You're going to do it, aren't you?
I might. Well, my dad's sense of humor is, let's put it this way, it's as twisted as mine, but maybe not as dark as mine. Right? So, yeah.
Truck autocorrect. What? Oh.
Yeah, it right, like
I forgot what I remembered. Yeah.
Right. Hmm.
Oh,
Okay, so
you.
Diana's like, it took me 8 hours to recover myself coming out of general anesthesia. Well, number one, you should have just gone with major anesthesia. Kidding. But I don't know. I've never. I wonder how long it will take. I always figured you wake up fairly quickly, but I don't know. Do I miss maple candy? Kinda. Kinda. I mean, the closest I can get, they sell maple bars as donuts with that sort of like maple-ish frosting, but it's probably fake maple. Going up to Vermont, where I was raised, you could get these like, I don't know, they look almost like, you know, those miniature Three Musketeers bars that they would give out on Halloween. It
Uh-huh.
looks like that, except it's made entirely of maple sugar. And it's really good. I mean, that's one thing that Vermont is famous for is maple syrup, and or as my goth friends like to call it, tree blood. But yeah, so I kind of do miss maple candy. It's good stuff. I don't know.
Careful to get Canadians in here.
Well, you know, I gotta say there is nothing wrong with Canada. Warming it up
No,
and
not at
nuking
all.
Quebec won't fix.
I think probably 80% of my Twitter followers are Canadian, actually.
Yeah.
Something like
No,
that, yeah.
I mean, okay, granted, I've only ever been to Montreal and Vancouver. I love Vancouver. Such a nice town. Seriously. So,
Yeah. I didn't go to Vancouver, but I was north of there at Prince Rupert is the name of the town. That's so I used to go to Alaska in my 20s. I'd go there every summer, throw shrimp pots over the side of the boat and risk my life. So
huh.
it was good money though.
I for some reason I thought it was a vacation, but okay.
Oh no, I went there to work. I wasn't blessed with rich parents.
Well, I mean, I was, like I said, I was raised within shouting distance of the Shelburne Bay of Lake Champlain. And so, I don't know, I knew a lot of neighbors who went fishing.
Yeah.
And
Oh, if you were
that
in
was,
Seattle, that's most of them come up to Alaska actually fishing.
well, I mean, okay, granted, most of my friends in Seattle were more of the like Microsoft and like Amazon and Boeing and Starbucks set, where like they wouldn't even want themselves waved at a fishing boat. Most of them,
I suppose more like Tacoma and stuff like that is kind of more the fishing community, though, isn't it?
probably.
That's
And let's face it, the people who live in Tacoma would never notice the horrible smell of fish.
the aroma of Tacoma. I know that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
the potlatch or whatever, the pulp mill or whatever. Oof. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Disgusting.
The aroma.
And you know, the most people who know me know that I have a certain ex who kind of royally fucked me up. And as I understand it, the last thing I heard about her, she moved to Tacoma. So,
Nah, 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 nah. I don't even remember my last ex. That's so many years ago.
Mhm.
I didn't want to have another girlfriend, so
well, you know, I have to admit it'd be nice, but my taste in women is so suspect. I need to have them go through a vetting process with my friends who know better than I do before they're like, no, Kate, don't go out with another one of those. You remember what happened last time, right? You know this one. No more addicts, Kate. No more addicts.
you're thinking with your logic too much, or
I, yeah, I for some reason. Well, the thing is, okay, what it comes down to is this: I am really, really attracted to Tank Girl, but in real life, Tank Girl comes with issues. In fact, Tank Girl comes with a whole subscription, right? So.
Yeah.
I got to find someone who looks like Tank Girl, who acts like Tank Girl, who didn't get that way through substance abuse. Just saying.
That song in Tank Girl is so cool.
You've got to be more specific.
Everybody does it. Why don't we do it? Birds do it. They do it.
Oh, that. Okay. Yeah. There were a couple others that I like better.
Yeah, I just like the whole big what do you call it?
The song and dance number, the musical number. Yeah.
I love that part of that movie.
I think it's just called "Let's Fall in Love." I think is the name of the song.
I believe you're right. Yeah, I think so. Chris, he's from my hometown. Chris Wesselman. Hey, Chris, how you doing? I was conceived in Tacoma, he says. uh,
No, I don't have it. I'm pretty sure I have the Tank Girl soundtrack on disc somewhere, but I do not have that particular song ripped. So
yeah, Seattle's a rainy freaking city too.
well,
Cloudy and rainy.
See, that's the thing though. People say it's rainy. I wish it was actually rainy.
Cloudy.
It drizzles.
Yeah,
That's all. I mean, because one of the things that I loved about living, like I say, right on Lake Champlain is you'd get these like amazing dark textured clouds, and you could see the Adirondack Mountains just barely beyond the lake, and you'd get these thunder and lightning storms, and it was amazing. And there was this electricity in the air. Whereas Seattle, it is the same color, the same shade of untextured bright gray from horizon to horizon with this little mist. It wouldn't even make sounds against the windows, right? That's not rain. And that will slowly kill you, which is why I'm now living in Southern California, where we actually have some sun. We don't get any rain, but at least I'm not wanting to gouge my eyes out because of the stupid weather outside.
I remember complaining about not being able to complain about the rain once when I was in LA after I was there for 2 years. I was like, you know what? I've probably seen 3 rainy days. The big snails or the slugs or whatever too in Seattle that you get there after the rain goes through and they just run around eating dog poop. I mean, what a life, huh?
Yeah. Trying to remember if it's the same place. Are those the banana slugs? For some reason, I think that's Santa Cruz. I don't know.
That could be. I don't need less baggage, my girlfriend do.
She asked.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. What about someone like Heather? You're going to have to be a lot more specific. I know way the hell too many Heathers. So I don't know.
I know good Heathers and bad Heathers.
Oh yeah. There were 3 Heathers. One of them kind of got killed by what's her face and the other guy. Like she choked on corn nuts or something. Christian Slater, that was it. Christian Slater. I'm talking about an 80s movie. Come on, help me out here. Winona Ryder, that's it. But then there were the other 2 Heathers, and they lived through it. No one's seen Heathers? Am I the only one who's seen Heathers? All right.
I don't know if I did or not. I forget names of movies, actually.
See, I've worked in 4 different video stores. So while I actually, I forget the names of actors a lot now because of the epilepsy thing in my brain, but movie names are pretty easy to remember.
Not for me. Names are hard for me.
What? No. Tell me it's not so. They don't have a Heather's series now. Please tell me they don't.
They said it.
Well,
I never see people on screen typing responses. I think you're using telekinesis to control the keyboard. That could be.
Well, there's also like a serious delay. I'm not sure. Like, let's see. I am typing something right now. So let's see how long it takes for that to because they'll see what I typed before it hits the screen. Right. So let's see how long that takes.
10 seconds.
Actually, I'm seeing it right now, and it was like 10, 15 seconds, but maybe they're not seeing people type stuff. I'm doing this. Typing. You saw me type. You know you did. Don't make me come over there.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I remember doing something with my stream thing or whatever because I was trying to play music on here, and I think I might have put a delay or slowed it down the bandwidth on it. That was a while ago. I'm a tech idiot, so. We can see you type, Kate.
Okay, I don't know. Someone said something about telekinesis to control the keyboard, so okay. I could make it so that they can't tell when I'm typing because I could put this on my lap and no one would notice. Because there have been times like I've got this fidget spinner or whatever, and I'm just having a chat, and I'm trying to keep part of my brain occupied so I don't get bored. and I'm just like spinning the spinner. No one knows I'm doing it. You can't tell. So, yeah.
You can make perpetual motion machines out of them.
Right.
Oh, that reminded me so much of my friend. I think he was trying to do it with magnets, and well, you know how Desert File feels about that.
Yeah. What's that? The Insane Clown Posse, Magnets? How do they work, or something? They had that whole weird, controversial bit of their song.
Yeah, well, nobody understands kinetic energy. I guess that's the big thing about it when it comes to. You got to put energy into it. There's no magnetism does not create energy. There's no work created from it.
Well, okay, so Deconverted Man is asking me like best argument for God and worst argument for God. That's going to be difficult to classify. I mean, any bad argument, the worst argument is probably just have faith. He's there. I mean, if I wanted to go beyond that, I'd probably have to say like the watchmaker argument is the worst, where they're like, look around you and see how complex the world is. Now, like, look at my DVD player and how complex that is. It couldn't have just come from nature. That's one of the worst arguments I've ever heard. Best argument for God, that's going to be difficult. I don't know. Because it's rare that I've had an argument give me pause. And I don't mean pause. I mean, make me go, gee, I never thought of it that way. I can't remember the last time that happened. I mean, I've got my own best argument for God, but it's a joke where I basically take traits of God and traits of George Lucas and make it like show people how similar they are. I'm pretty sure people are sick and tired of me making that joke. So
actually what I want to do is do it the other way around. I want to make the best arguments for against the existence of God. I want to just make
sure.
I want to go through all those just as a thought experiment kind of thing.
Well, but the thing is, I mean, like, I wouldn't be making any arguments against God if people weren't making arguments for God. That's something that religious people, theists, don't seem to understand, is that, yes, atheism really is just a lack of belief, that if they weren't putting forward the notion of God's existence, we'd never talk about it because it wouldn't even occur to us. They're bringing it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, right. Yes, I forgot about that. Look at that treadmill. Tell me that ain't God. I thought that was one of the funniest things when it first happened. I mean, that was like, what, 8 years ago now or something? But there was that one guy who was trying to make the watchmaker argument. And he's just, look at that treadmill with this like sense of wonder in his voice. Look at that treadmill. Tell me that ain't God. Right? It was just, wow, freaking pathetic.
I have to say this much. They are funny. Some of their things they come up with are funny, but then after the ad now sets in, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But the eye, yeah.
Right. Man, you know, it's weird. Like, okay, maybe it's just because I don't have the world's best vision. People have been seeing me with glasses in some of my videos lately, and that was because I had an eye infection for a little while. But like, if you do the right things with your eyes so that your heartbeat is up and you can actually see the veins flashing in your eye, and it's one of the weirdest things to see.
There's certain things that people do, you know, like I always said that texting is, in fact, I think I remember one time commenting with you or whatever, but you don't see somebody's facial expressions and you don't realize what they're emoting when you're actually texting with each other. And that can cause a lot of fights sometimes, I think.
Oh boy, does it ever. I mean, yeah, I've had those things where oftentimes it's me because, you know, I'm a bit of a joker, right? You know, I like to make funny remarks. I've had people take stuff completely seriously, even with like a winky face smiley on stuff, even with an emoji. They're like, what did you just call me? You said, what about my mother? You know, it's that sort of reaction to the most goofy little comment. They had to know I was joking, and it sets them off.
Yeah, well, there's a couple comments where I went back at them and went, they really mean that? And I looked at, okay, then because it's easy for me to glance over something like that. I have to really slow down when I read things.
Actually, it's funny. Deconverted Man brought something up. It sort of fits along the whole GIF versus GIF argument, and don't get me fucking started. But when you see where he put the expression there, when I first heard it, people were saying "lol," right? But now everyone says "LOL." right? And you remember when lolcats came out, right? They were lolcats, but now everyone's saying LOL. What the fuck happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's true. Like you will get people who type LOL on something. And I'm like, there is no way you're laughing that hard. Also, what you just said was laugh out loud, out loud, out loud, out loud, out loud, out loud. There needs to be two L's. LOLLOLLOL. So yeah, it's just one of the stupidest things that he's right. It's lost all meaning. That term means nothing anymore.
Here, this one, because the reason that this one used to be a thing, I'll put it out there. It's going to take 10 seconds. The reason that word was one was because people used to have just a phone where you had your letters on there. So you had to shortcut the word. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to go KEWL. It was quicker to do it on your phone when you had to text on your phone. Back when you only had 4 digits, now you got touchscreen. So
well, one thing I should totally do, like the next time I'm in one of these chats, I should go get a bunch of old ASCII symbols and make like a way to say or a way to write Bionic Dance that's not using any actual keyboard letters, but still looks like Bionic Dance. Because I know there's like a weird, shapely, stylized B, right? And I know there's a couple of other things, like I get an O with the umlaut over it, that kind of thing. Just for fun.
I'm going to put secret Morse code messages in my videos, and you're not going to know what kind of message it is until you actually pay attention to it. That's here now.
Oh, deconverted man, you are so fired.
What did he do now?
You know what you do when you sit on a keyboard? You get ASCII. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You that wah on your phone now.
Right. See, now I'm tempted to go find, like, because I actually used to know the ASCII, like the alt codes really, really well, and now I sort of like don't. And I used to be able to just like hit alt and type stuff, and I could make a very quick like ASCII version of something. But now the only one I remember is alt 0153 is TM, like trademark. That's the only thing I remember. So
yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm tempted to go find like an ASCII table and start making this Bionic Dance.
Hey, you did it.
Thanks. Well, yeah, that's the only one I know, like I said. So
TM, has everybody got a wrench except for the bad guys?
Well, haven't seen one of the bad guys in a while. I think they're staying away.
Yeah, they probably just came here to say their two freaking words. And
well, I mean, let's face it, you cannot be a YouTuber without picking up some haters.
No,
right? It's not possible. I mean, hell, you can't be on the internet without picking up some haters. I mean, someone doesn't like the cat photo you used as your Facebook icon, and they will give you shit to the end of your days, right? So, I mean, this is the internet. I was like, okay, I've got VR gear, right? And I love playing VR. But there's this one game that someone told me I should try to play called, like, I think it's Werewolves Within or something. It sounded like a lot of fun. It sounded like a VR version of the card game Werewolf, if you've ever played it. It's a lot of fun. But the thing is that I don't have any controller other than the touch controllers for my Oculus, and touch controllers aren't supported because your character, you're a bunch of characters sitting on like logs and stuff around a campfire. And so ordinarily with touch controllers, you'd be able to control your arms and be able to talk and chat and emote this way. But they were like the people who made the game were going, oh, yeah, well, if someone has that option, they're just going to wave around like they're a broken tube man ad thing. Like you see out on, I'm like, dude, this is the internet. If someone's going to want to be obnoxious, they'll find a way. There's no reason to keep the rest of us from having our touch controllers. And then they were like, well, you can use a regular old controller. And I'm like, look at what these are. They have an A, B, and X, Y, and a little joystick. Right? You don't have to read the motion. You can just, and I forget why I'm bringing this up now. Something about being obnoxious online. I don't know. I went off.
Actually get their adrenaline rush from seeing the reaction of other people or getting a reaction out of people. That's there is
that.
I mean, that's just human nature in some people.
Yeah.
Not my human nature, but
Well, I mean, okay, granted, there are definitely some people out there who've earned an internet ass kicking, but you gotta really work at it to make me want to see you hurt online.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I, you'd have to be almost like a POTUS right now to make me want you to hurt.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. All right.
I
Sorry, man.
no, I'm trying to remember the last time there was actually a presidential candidate that made me really go, "Oh yeah, I'm all for you." Right?
Yeah, no, not for me. I mean, maybe a couple times I liked Bill Clinton, but then that kind of went away right away. So,
Hmm.
but
Well,
yeah,
I mean, let's face it, the first time Obama ran, I thought that was a really cool thing. And
yeah,
then the second time around, I was like, oh. So,
yeah. I don't
uh,
know. It really
but
changed
then,
the culture. I think our culture changed so much right after after that second election. It was
mm, well, and I again was raised within shouting distance of the town where Bernie Sanders was mayor for like a really long time.
mhm.
So when I found out he was going to be a candidate, I was like, oh, nobody knows that this is a better idea, or nobody knows this is a good idea better than I do. Believe me. So I don't know.
I was I knew about Bernie like in '95 already, somewhere around there. I knew about him, and when I seen him, because I also watched Tom Hartman a lot. I watched that, and he was always on Fridays on Tom Hartman show.
Hmm.
So I knew about Bernie quite a bit, and Bernie would actually do a national freaking meeting with everybody, town hall with everybody every Friday. He'd answer any question that anybody would ask. I mean, you don't see none of the senators do that. None of them. They're just up in their little ivory towers. Hey, let's see what kind of money we can make.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, he was actually for people. So, but
I've actually had some people tell me that I should run for office, and I'm like, "What are you fucking kidding me?" But I mean, that's the thing is I do think I have the right ideals and maybe even the right ideas, but what I don't have is any idea how to go about it. Like if I ever ended up in office, and I'd be like, "Okay, so what commands can I issue right now? What am I allowed to do? And what do I have to get approval for? And all of this stuff. Like I don't know procedure."
yeah,
Right.
well, that
And even then, like look at what we're doing right here. If I was ever in an interview with someone, I'd probably like open mouth, insert foot constantly. So
and well, if I had like 300 million to lend you for the campaign or whatever, I would.
yeah.
There's that too. So,
One
but
thing that
yeah,
is kind of funny though is like, oh gosh, what was it like 2 elections ago? I guess I had a couple of my subscribers tell me that they had written me in for president. So
yeah,
somewhere in some like dusty cavern somewhere, like out in the middle of nowhere where they keep all of the used ballots, there's two with my name hastily scribbled on them. Somewhere in there is a record of me having two write-ins.
there. That reminds me. A while back, his name is his channel's called Kronos, I think, or something like that. He's been around for a while, but he made this video on voting against actually voting against a candidate. Like if you got the lesser of two evils, you can actually vote against one, and that would count as a point against the one that's so. And it makes sense to do that because then your vote isn't by like voting for somebody that you like. Bernie was out now you have to vote for Hillary or whatever, or
Right.
whatever you got to do.
Well, there's
Then
other places
you
that
can
have
vote
a
against
ranking
Trump.
system.
If you
Right?
don't like
Like
Hillary, oh sorry.
well, I mean, there's places that have a ranking system where, like, if they give you 10 candidates, you can go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, that sort of thing, where you can basically, like, you don't need to have two parties anymore because you can go, okay, I like these three people a lot better than Hillary, but I like Hillary better than Trump. So I'm going to give her a 4, and I'm going to give these a 3 or a 1, 2, and 3, that kind of thing. And that to me is a much better voting system because then like an underdog can come in and sweep it if they gotta.
Yeah. Well, electoral college is a bunch of gerrymandering bullshit. So.
Hell, the people who came up with that need to go back to college. But yeah, no, it's and that and super delegates.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I remember recently someone was saying that they were going to reduce the power of superdelegates in an election, and they were talking about themselves being disenfranchised.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, really, really. I mean, gosh, you'll still be a secret identity voter, if not or a secret identity delegate, if not a secret or super delegate. Sorry, I'm messing that up. Never mind. But yeah,
it's stupid. Yeah, whatever happened, it's money and power and all that kind of corrupts things eventually in just about any situation, I guess. I wish I had it.
Yeah. And I don't know. The electrical, I keep wanting to call it the electoral college.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is just a weird, like, I seem to remember the rationale behind it. I seem to remember now that it really doesn't work that well anymore. I mean, it's like they were not anticipating an internet when they came up with how our elections are supposed to be run.
You think it was just lucky for all these years that they had it because the popular vote wasn't bigger than the electoral votes or whatever?
Well, I seem to remember, like, part of it was they were going, well, someone who lives in a really densely populated area will have more power than someone who lives in a less populated area. So we have to give those people in a less populated area more power, because otherwise New York will always win over Missouri or whatever. And now it's just not even the same thing anymore, because there are so many people in, like, New York and California that giving them